Good morning, students. Myself, Professor Pularani, working in the Department of Agriculture, GGDSD College, Haryana, Hoshiarpur. The topic for my today's presentation is algae. Under this topic, we will cover characteristics and classification of the algae. First of all, definition of algae. Algae is diverse group of photosynthetic eukaryotic organisms. Algae have chlorophyll as their primary photosynthetic pigments and lack a sterile covering of cells around their reproductive cells. Because of chlorophyll, they have a autotrophic mode of nutrition, and most of algae are present in the water, that is aquatic in nature, and they lack many of the distinct cell and tissue types such as stomata, xylem and phloem as in present in the plant cells. The largest and the most complex marine algae example is seaweed, and complex freshwater algae is Charophyta, a division of green algae which includes Pyrogyra and stoneworts. We can define algae in a nutshell: autotrophs that fail to show any cellular differentiation, and their sex organs are unicellular, and if multicellular, all cells are sterile. They are the primary producers. About 80% of the earth oxygen has been estimated to be produced by planktonic algae. Not only oxygen, they also produce the organic matter in a huge amount. Algae occurs in damp soil, rocks, in plants, in animals, and grow on snow and even on the ice, and even at temperature 90 degrees centigrades. The characteristics are autotrophic, inhabit aquatic habitats, no differentiation into various tissue systems. They have unicellular sex organs without a jacket of sterile cells, show progress complex in reproduction, and do not develop a embryo after sexual reproduction. Depending upon the organization of the thallus, algae are divided into 5 groups: unicellular, colonial, filamentous, siphonaceous, and parenchymatous. Unicellular algae. Unicellular forms can be classified as rhizopodial unicells, flagellated, spiral, filamentous, and non-motile unicells. Rhizopodial unicells in figure A lack cell wall, example Chrysamoeba, and in figure B and C, flagellated unicells occurs in all algal groups. Flagellated unicells may be periplastic without cell wall, for example Euglena, and with cell wall, example Chlamydomonas. Non-motile unicell, example figure number D and E, lack flagella but possess nucleus and plastids, example Chlorella, and non-motile unicells, example diatoms. The second category is colonial algae. Algae may form a colony by aggregation of the product of cell division within a mucilaginous mass, example volvox, tetraspora, and chrysodendrons. And third category is filamentous. Many algae have multicellular filamentous body. The filaments may be unbranched or branched, example Eulothrix and Spirogyra. And next category is siphonaceous algae. In siphonaceous algae, the thallus of this form of algae consists of branched aseptae or quinocytic tubular filaments, as the nucleus division is not accomplished by the wall formation, and example is Wucheria and Botredium. And the next category is parenchymatous algae. Many algae possess flat tubular thalli formed by the division of cell in 2 or more planes. The daughter cells do not separate from the parent cell and give rise to parenchymatous thallus. Example is Alva and Sargassum. There is alteration of generation in algae. Sexually reproducing algae in general pass through 2 phases of development to complete their life cycle. Number 1, spore producing phase, and number 2, gamete producing phase. In spore producing phase, also known as sporophyte or sporophytic generations of diploid generations, whose nucleus bears two chromosome complements, and in gamete producing phase or gametophyte or gametophytic generation, the haploid generations having only one chromosome complement in each nucleus. These two phases of generation follow each other in regular sequence in the life cycle of algae, so this is known as the alteration of generation. The reproduction in algae is a complex process. In algae, sexual reproduction generally takes place after a certain amount of vegetative growth and production of food reserve. It involves two distinct processes: fusion of protoplast, that is known as plasmogamy, and a fusion of two nuclei, that is karyogamy. The occurrence of plasmogamy and karyogamy during the union of gametes to form a zygote is known as the syngamy. But when sexual reproduction include only karyogamy, that means union of two nuclei, both of which are usually derived from the same parent cell, the process is known as the autogamy. Syngamy of the general occurrence among Chlorophyta, Euglenophyta, Chrysophyta, and the most agreed kind of evolution is isogamy, that is primitive, and anisogamy a step advanced to isogamy, and oogamy being the most advanced step in the sexual reproduction. So students, in this topic we have covered the characteristics and the classification of algae, especially the microalgae. For further query, you can consult the first year notes of General Microbiology. Thank you.